What did Steve tell you, and what does the ad tell you about Reddit's aspirations?
Well, we talked about a lot of things. I think Steve's an incredibly thoughtful person, and he had a much, a broader idea of what was happening at Reddit and on Reddit. And so it was terrific. I thought it was a great interview where he discussed where these ideas are going. And I think that what's important is that he had a lot of respect for retail investors. He had a lot of respect for the process, but he also was pretty smart about the idea that this isn't going to continue forever, that it's going to change ideas of Wall Street. It isn't necessarily going to be this ongoing speculative party thing. I thought he had a pretty thoughtful idea, and I loved the ad. I thought the ad was adorable. It was very smart. It was short and sweet. It was good. It was a good idea to take advantage of the interest around Reddit to get more people using all kinds of Reddit, not just the Wall Street part. But there's tons of stuff going on Reddit, and so it's a smart idea. I think Steve's a smart CEO, and we'll see where it goes from here. As to the rallies around these, I do think they've played out. Maybe they'll find another one and go on it, but I think Wall Street's pretty savvy to what's happening now and won't be won't be taken in twice with these methods. We'll see.
Yeah, that's interesting. So in other words, sort of leveraging the moment that they have had handed to them, but trying to remind people it's not the totality of what Reddit is.
Right. I think it's smart. And it isn't, actually. Reddit's a really interesting place. It has had a lot of controversies over the years. We had talked a lot about that. They were one of the first to start to really do a lot of moderation, of not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they were the first to talk about it. It's a much smaller social network. And I think in a lot of ways it's there's a lot going on there that to look at, and we'll see how well it takes advantage of this moment and continues to grow. But I really like the ad. I thought it was cute. I think it was a lot better than the Bruce Springsteen ad. So there you have it. So I don't know what to say. Probably a lot less expensive. Right?
Yeah, definitely a lot less expensive.
Yeah.
Kara,
I love a Jersey cowboy. Like, okay.
Well,
sure.
Who doesn't? We've been talking about this sometimes as a revolution, but it seems really different from what we saw with E-Trade and others 20 plus years ago, which really was a kind of revolution of letting the individual investor directly invest in a way they couldn't before. Reddit isn't exactly built on cutting edge technology or algorithms. Message boards have been around for a long time. I wonder whether this trading, betting, investor crowd, whatever it turns out to be, can actually advance this conversation, this financial conversation online in a way that builds long-term wealth, not just, a headline that we'll look back on and say, oh, remember that market peak when people were, betting recklessly on depressed stocks?
Right. Well, I hope so, too. I mean, look, there's two discussions here of how smart individual investors are. And then secondly, what this speculation is. Because like Dogecoin, come on. You're right. Beanie Babies. That's what it is. And a lot of these, and even Bitcoin, it's just Elon Musk playing and trolling people. And at the same time, leaning into a trend that's really important is what is an asset? Like, why is gold gold? Why is anything anything? And I do think, well, there can be value in, say, Bitcoin or some other asset classes that people put their value in, because that's all it is, really. It is some of these games like Dogecoin. This is all speculative, and it's fun until someone starts to lose money. That's all. They just have to be aware of the price you pay when you're in a casino in a lot of this stuff. And the underlying value is unlinked from any real value. And, whatever. I know that's old-fashioned, but ultimately it's how it works out in most of these speculative bubbles.
Hey, Kara, it's Deirdre. To be clear, you're not grouping together Bitcoin and Dogecoin, are you?
No. I just said you'll see a Bitcoin and a Dogecoin, right? You'll see all these different things. Like, nobody thinks that GameStop is going to change the world with its retail innovation. I just don't. I don't. I mean, maybe someone does. I guess the Chewy guy does. But it's still a promising company, possibly, if they did things to it. I think Bitcoin's a really interesting thing that a lot of people are looking at, not Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency, and putting value in other places. I think that's something that you have to lean into if you're an investor. At the same time, the speculative element is dangerous, and that's just the way it is with all kinds of financial assets. And that's the part I would worry with retail investors getting caught in their own squeeze. That's all. But that's up to them.
Right.
It's up to them.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.